Hello, racing fans. Hello, racing fans, and welcome to It's Post Time on the SFEN Network. That stands for South Florida Equine Network on SoFloRadio.com. Gorgeous day here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. 90. The humidity is a little bit up today, but again, the ocean is out there. The pools are in most people's backyards. The fans are on the Calder race course, and it is a hot one today.
Well, but a breezy, very breezy. It gets that wind's kicking up at times. You can see the skies are unsure what they want to be doing right now. We have some beautiful big puffy clouds, and then we have the darker ominous ones above and around. So
954-828-2201 is the call number if you'd like to check in with us today. Or you can email us to JJ, 2Js, ANDSAMM@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
I played some phone calls today before we get into the news, and because I received an email today.
Yeah.
And it apparently, we didn't mean to stir up a beehive.
So we stirred up a beehive?
A little one at Philadelphia Park. A little bit about
the incident with the
10-year
suspension?
Kid gets 10 years. I don't think that's...
I just don't think that's in accordance to what we should be doing. I mean, unless there's more to it and come out with it.
Well, you know what?
10 years?
I'll tell you what, I will not take any sides. I will not say anything. What I did do was put a phone call today into Mike Bellezzi there. And I'm just going to hear Mike Bellezzi's side of this because I also told him to check out JoelNation.com. That we had already spoke about this on the 22nd of the month here. Mm-hmm. So basically, for you folks who might have tuned in for the first time, you don't know what we're talking about. Juan Carlos Guerrera, the leading trainer at Philadelphia Park, got 10 years. He's out of racing for 10 years.
His offense was he apparently hugged a racing office official, a female bookkeeper, and then while doing so, kissed her and patted her on the butt.
You know what? If I won a big race,
he said, I patted her on the butt. He'll acknowledge that. He said, but I didn't kiss her on the lips. So he acknowledges doing one, denies doing the other. It was apparently there was no indication that it was more than one time. And he's got 10 years because they feel he is such a threat to the backstretch employees.
But he was not charged for anything legally.
Right. But she said it's private property.
It is private property. They don't.
But that's the whole game you got thrown out of, Jay.
Oh no, exactly. I mean, you're just thrown out of
Philadelphia Park. It's not like
you're done.
All right,
for 10
buddy,
years.
pack up your stuff and get out of Philly.
Right,
we don't like your
going
kind.
down to Delaware Park and race.
Right.
You know, we can't do that. But again, I am not making judgment on anybody because I need to.
There's got to be more to the story.
And you also need to understand that I did offer Mr. Guerrera an opportunity to come on their show. I guess he has to talk to his attorney and make sure that everything is 6-2 and even. But again, you just don't jeopardize a man's career. 10 years, it's a long time.
Right.
Period. End of story.
But speaking about... And again, if he offended someone, what is this girl getting out of this whole thing? Is anybody... if you do a medication violation, okay?
Well, watch the girl. She didn't do anything.
No. Will you listen for one sec? Okay? If you get a medication violation, you get days and a fine.
Right.
Okay? Well, they're giving him 10 years. Are they fining him in any way to compensate this girl who feels that she was assaulted? I mean, apparently she felt assaulted.
Well,
that's my concern. My concern as a victim of sexual assault. Is that being taken? Is it the right thing to do? That's all.
Well, I'm sure the police had to be involved here.
There
had to be.
Well, I can call Ben Salem and ask him if there's any
I'm
police
just going to
report.
wait for Mike Bellezzi. Mike Bellezzi's been straight up. He usually calls me back when I ask him a question because I would like to know. But speaking of Philadelphia Park, I was Candy Reed, used to be Candy Gracie. She had a horse today in the second race. A $7,500 claimer, non-winners of 2 in the last 6 months. Purse, $23,000. 13.5 to the winner. There's nothing wrong with those purses.
No.
Well, you know what? I mean...
So how does it work so well there? And Calder, who's got a record quarter for the casino, dropped purses 12%. And the purses are nothing remotely close to par racing, Philadelphia Park.
There's a guy that can probably answer that question for us.
All right.
Mr. Windolly is calling me on the phone.
Oh.
So, you know what, Win, I know you're not listening, but let me take it up to the break here.
And then call him back.
I'll call him back. I mean, there's one man who can unequivocally answer that question. Mm-hmm. But to me, I remember back in the day, which seems to be the new line now, back in the day, when I ran in the feature race at Philadelphia Park, the purse was $5,000. That was the feature race. You got $3,000 to the winner. And when I ran in a stake race, okay, the purse was $25,000. You run today for a $23,000 purse for $7,500, worth 3 times what the horse is worth.
Yep.
I mean, but you are right. What's
the difference?
What's the difference? What?
Now you have Canada screaming. They're about to lose their racing, the Queen's Plate, blah, 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 the whole thing. And Roger Apfield apparently was interviewed. And
Roger, a good guy.
Yes. Who he's sitting on the precipice of record, he's record out the butt. Kind of,
the Queen's Plate. He was in the Queen's Plate.
Won multiple times. I mean, he's right there.
Right.
He wants to win it for this 9th time, I think, or something like that. Anyway. Basically, what they're saying is that they're running their casinos and everything's 6-2 and even. The government's getting their money and all. But the U.S. casino companies are coming in and saying, hey, this is what we want to run your casino, and are robbing the blind. They're not willing to accept. They're at 20%. Well, they're saying, that's nothing. You're going to give a lot more than that. We're not happy with 20%. So why do you need the U.S. casino people if they're going to do that to you? Don't bring them in. Don't bring them in. You gotta wonder this whole casino issue and who's running it, and we see it down here in Florida. When down the road you have the Hard Rock Casino for the Indian tribe, run by Hard Rock. You don't think Hard Rock's only taking 20%, do you? Well,
I don't know.
Well, I'm wondering what we gotta find out who's doing what.
But you got to realize too that the dog tracks, the puppies, they got nothing.
Yeah.
They got nothing.
Yep.
Nada.
Yep.
And I don't know how well the standardbreds.
I think we were just a patsy. We were just a patsy, and to get the gaming in, and they're going to throw us all out the door. Thanks for opening the door for us. Now get the hell out.
I remember sitting on the boards at different racetracks, and the management was courting the Horsemen. Please go along with us to get the casinos in here so we all can work together and all flourish together. Somewhere along the line, someone got amnesia.
Yeah. Because
the Horsemen have held their end up. But in a lot of cases, I don't think management has. And Philadelphia Park, you know what? They don't need to do any better than they're doing. Because, you know what?
They do great.
I mean, if you have a $7,500 mane and a tail, and you can go over there and take back $13,500, come on. That's a lot of dinero.
Jay, do they have a health care program at the track?
They do.
All the horsemen are covered.
They do.
How much coverage do they have?
I don't know, but I can check on that.
That's what I would want to know.
In Pennsylvania, you make so many starts.
Right.
And they do have it.
Well, for the backstretch workers, they have full health care and all
you know
that
what?
stuff.
And when I was at Monmouth Park, and we'll get Bobby Kleina back on here because I'm not allowed to disclose anything yet, but there's a damn good chance that its post time is going to the Haskell. And as soon as we do the email, we'll do that later on. But again, I've always had a medical card from Monmouth Park that they had a long time. They've had that a long time, and they should. And there wasn't any casinos then. You know,
right.
You know,
I'm trying to remember the name of the couple up in New England that did so much for backstretch workers and trying to get health care and everything, and they worked really hard. I would love to get them on and have their input. I know they got the White Horse, what is it, White Horse Award that is given out every year? Is that what it's called?
In New England?
Yeah.
You remember when we were in New England?
They had their, for being suffering downs as we...
I like that track.
You know what? You didn't feel good? There was a trailer there, and the local university they got them to partner, and this is this couple I'm talking about.
Exactly.
And I'm so sorry I can't remember their names.
Well, we'll
They're
find it.
Wonderful
We'll
people.
find it.
And they had it where you could go right over. You didn't feel good? Right there you could be seen. Get your flu shot, the whole spangy, right there on the track. You didn't have to go anywhere.
Correct.
That's the way it should be.
It is.
It should be at every single racetrack, especially since you have slots. You can make sure
what is one of the most terrible vices there is, Sam?
Smoking. Drinking.
No. Greed.
Oh, greed. Sorry.
Greed.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Greed. I got Candy calling me now, too. I guess maybe everybody's listening to...
Come a wrong number.
It's post time. She's calling me on. But I mean, everybody suffers from greed.
It's sad. Just because if you knew the animal, really, truthfully, if you really were a horse lover and understood how hard people work to care for them. I mean, even the bad trainers, even the bad trainers can have help that really does care. You got what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I mean, the good people. There are more good people there that care about horses than there are the few that are ignorant and don't care about the animal at all. I mean, that's because they don't know.
You do right by a horse will do right by you.
You always said that.
You need a sign put on when you walk into my office. You do right by a horse will do right by you. Mm-hmm. You can't expect them to fend for themselves. Yeah, you can. Let them loose and let them run out in the field there like they're used to doing. But you took
But even
them,
then, you have to make sure. I mean, there's horses that we've found.
Listen, we have horses on the farm. They have an automatic waterer.
Yes, we. Yep.
Okay. They never have to worry about water. They have hay delivered to them every day. Not that they really need it right now, but they have.
By a state rep, no less.
You know, in fact, I got to pay the guy. He'll probably be looking for it. But I mean, what I'm saying is, we have domesticated these animals. They did fine when they were loose on the range, and we've managed to get them and put them in a situation that it's out of their control. It's in our control. Mm-hmm. And then when you finally have an opportunity to make money, Pennsylvania, okay, you know they're taking money away from them.
Well, yeah, that's what's
the state, the governor is deciding.
You guys have too much money.
Right.
Even though our whole thing has been, and you hear it over and over, any financial advisor will say you should have some money put away. You should have X amount of dollars that if everything happened, collapsed tomorrow, you could survive for 6 months or whatever. So why, when it comes to horse racing, does it not apply? Why can they not have money set aside? Maybe they want to do something with it, fantastic with it for horse racing. What's wrong with that? So why is the governor taking this money away? Oh, you have too much, so we're going to take it.
Yeah, well, you're not using it fast enough.
Well, what are you doing with it, Governor?
Squandering it where they, All right, listen, we're up against a break. It's 15 minutes past the hour. You're listening to It's Post Time. I will be back on the other side of the break, and I tell you how Doug O'Neill picked up an extra $20K.
team of professional consultants behind your home or business computer with Key Information Solutions, providing solutions to your internet and computing needs while keeping you on the cutting edge of technology. Preventative maintenance and networking support, hardware and custom-built computers. Let Key Information Solutions be your personal tech staff for your home or office with affordable hourly, monthly, or annual rates to fit anyone's budget. Call Key Information Solutions now. 954-973-3374. That's 954-973-3374. Or visit keyinformation.com.
Social media marketing. You know your business needs it. Mouse Media's talented team can cover a wide array of services and will work one-on-one to help you achieve your business goals. Looking for a web marketer, a social media guru, web designer, developer, programmer, or graphic designer? Yep, they got it. Visit them at mousemedia.us.
That's mousemedia.us.
Or follow Mouse Media on Twitter and on Facebook.
mousemedia.us.
At Power Smoothie in Aventura, we show fruit no mercy. Always fresh, always delicious. Power Smoothie in Aventura makes the best power smoothies on earth, like the Strawberry Passion, Dulce de Leche, and the all-new Malted Jorge. Try the mouth-watering Chipotle chicken wrap or savory nacho everyday nachos. Power Smoothie in Aventura, open 7 days a week, located just north of the Aventura Mall in the Promenade Shops. Or call 305-792-5338. Mention you heard about us on the George Rodriguez Show and get a free Banana Bobana.
If you're not tuning into the Byron Eggers Show with H-Love, you're missing stuff like this. What is with the George Rodriguez crappy music? Plays these long breaks, and it's just that the whole break is...
And really, seriously, we don't want to listen to that. Please start playing some decent music.
The same beat over and over again.
I'm sexy and I know it, yeah.
Stop the insanity and tune into the Byron Eggers Show with me, H-Love. Weeknights, Monday through Friday, 10 to 11 p.m. on the one and only SoFloRadio.com.
SoFloRadio.com, the South Florida Radio Network.
Okay, folks, welcome back to It's Post Time on the SFEN Network, which stands for the South Florida Equine Network on SoFloRadio.com. 954-828-2201 is the call-in number. You want to email Sam or yours truly, it's JJ, 2 J's, ANDSAMM at gmail.com. We've been going over some news and things like that, and I just spoke to Win Jolly a little while ago, and Wynn's going to come on tomorrow and fill some blanks in as far as how he sees the state of racing and casinos and purses and things that you would think would go hand in hand. But you know what? And I just talked to Candy. She ran a good third. And she said to me, you know what? And this is true. She said, Jay, this horse, it was a bad claim. But you know what? You make a bad claim, and you got $2,500 of your money back already. So all you got to do is you don't even have to win, just to finish second and third a time or two, and you get your claim money back. Okay. But that's the benefit of running for a decent purse. That's the benefit for one of your clients, so he can make money. I just can't believe that you continually the prices of hay and straw and feed and vitamins go up. They keep going up and keep going up. And the purses don't go up. But at least now if the purses go up, you can justify the fact that you need to raise your day rate some.
No, wait, you just said that backwards. You said if the purses go up, you can justify a higher day rate.
Right, because you can raise your day rate now because the purses are up.
Okay, got what you're saying.
Okay?
All right.
I mean, before you were there, should have raised your day rate, but you couldn't because you had to swallow it because just how much can your clients take? I mean, how much can they,
I don't think there's a full comprehension either of just how much money is involved under horse racing with the supporting cast, from the farmers, and of hay and straw, grain, and all that stuff. I don't think people realize how much it does affect other industry. Well, it's still the same. It's agriculture, obviously, but we're kind of an offshoot of it.
I hate to say this because I have been a horseman all my life. My dad was a horseman, and I was a horseman. My daughter's a horseman, and they think that horsemen are a bunch of buffoons. I think that they don't think that we know it gets dark at night. And sometimes they're right. However, here's the thing: you work 365 days a year, and this takes a lot of time and energy. We don't have people sitting there that fully understand what's going on to get our point across. I was looking up at the LASIK, Salix, whatever you want to call it. Why they even change the name is ridiculous to me. LASIK. It's LASIK. About it passing, and some don't believe it will, and even if it passes in Kentucky, that, California is like, ain't happening here. And something was said, I think it was Dr. Rick Arthur that said they wouldn't know how to race without LASIK. They have to learn to do things differently. Explain that to me. What? What are you going to do differently? Because my understanding of LASIK, and please go ahead and correct me. And I know we talked to Doctor all day about this, and he thinks we can do it too. Again, you think we can do it. Conditions are very different at racetracks in the United States, from what I've seen. You know what? I think I can live without my blood pressure medicine. But do I want to find that out, really? Right. Oh, you could live without your blood pressure medicine. You could. I know you could. Right. But you're still alive. But do I want... However, does the doctor say to you, Jake, you need to be on these. Right. You need these for your blood pressure. Right. Because something could happen. Right. Right. Something could happen. You could keel over. Right. Not that you've keeled over and now they put you on the medication. Right. It's preventative medicine. And that's what you're trying to prevent. Because as we said, if your horse bleeds through, and they say, oh, well, I've when they pull up and they haven't seen many horses with, no, it's usually when you get back to the barn and the horse drops their head. You know what? Right or wrong? Either I've been around too long, but I have seen my share of horses hemorrhage through the nose, pulling up at a race. Mm-hmm. I mean, and as I said, if not at the track, on the racetrack, when you get back to the barn and they drop their head. Right. I just don't understand. There's small capillaries, and the reason I explain this, because I'm sure horsemen out there saying, like, we know what it is, Sam, shut up. The reason I am explaining it is because I'm hoping the people that don't know do listen in and do join the conversation, and let's really just talk about it. Arthur Gropper from the Racing Forum is going to call us at 5:30 today. And one of my questions to him is, he's a handicapper. How are you going to handicap horses now that are not on or off of medication? I mean, when their form goes south. Because trust me, their form is going to go south. Yeah. And what really just goes through my head is that we're just setting ourselves up again for our horses to become part of the food chain on a regulatory basis. I'm not kidding. I'm seriously not kidding about that. I really think that there's ulterior motives here. What about the betting public? Is anybody thinking about them? These people, their hard-earned money, they're betting on these. It's a gamble. That's tough. You could say they buy a lottery ticket. What do they really know? You buy a lottery ticket. You take a chance. You're going to say the same thing. Handicapping is most looked at in horse racing. Yeah, but I'm not going to bet my hard-earned money when I know a horse, his form is going the other way because he's off of LASIK now. Oh, you would look at that. And what am I going to do? I'm not going to bet this race. You're taking handle away from the track because you're not going to bet. But
right?
not bet.
Which is from the horse. You're taking it from the Horsemen,
You're taking it from everybody.
right?
You're taking it from everybody. I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, there are plenty smarter, way smarter people than me when it comes to this game. But I don't think they have any goddamn common sense. They might have brains, but they don't have any common sense to go along with it.
No, Jay, there's also, as I said about the casinos going into Ontario and what they were saying, they want to be paid big money. They want to be paid big. I'm going to give two craps about you, Horsemen. Pay me. We're coming in. We get big pay because we are who we are. And us horsemen sit there and take it. Like, you're not worth anything? You're devaluing yourself. You think an executive at some casino is worth more than the hard work that you do every day?
It has been that way since the beginning of time.
Well, that's why our economy is the way it is. That's why everything's falling apart. That's why we have families living in cars.
I hear you. But until
and then these
you
people
can
that
sit down and talk to people in a sensible manner and not hold things over their head like, we're going to cut your purses. We're not going to give you stalls. We're not going to do this. That's called hardball.
Mm-hmm. And this game is definitely played that way.
And they know that they can last a whole lot longer than you can.
Mm-hmm.
You can last. They can hold out because they
got
can,
the money.
They can lay their help off. You can't lay your help off, or you can. But do you want to wake up in the morning and catch 20 horses? I don't think so. At least I don't want to do that.
You and catch 20 horses? Nope.
You know what I mean?
Ain't happening.
I would go down there and feed them, water them, give them hay, and pick their piles out of the stall. That's where it would end. I can tell you that right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the time to sit there and clean their stalls.
You have to find another job.
And
if you can't support yourself in the sport that you're doing, you get what I'm saying?
Right.
And there are many people on the backstretch that would wish they had a job elsewhere just because it is a hard life.
Well, listen, if you want to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and be at your racetrack because you got to be on the job by 4:45, you want that?
Yep.
That gets old.
Yep.
I mean, till this day, I'm up.
Yeah, you are.
At 4 a.m. in the morning.
Yep.
Because I'm just programmed to do that.
He's not out of bed. He opens an eye or two. Maybe.
Well, I've got my phone and I'm reading my news.
Oh, yeah, you are. That's true. I do the glow from the phone.
I read, I can't help myself, and I feel bad for my peers who will get up and go to work every day and hope like hell that this day is better than it was the day before.
It's a gamble every day for a horseman because things happen every day. Anything can happen any day. You could be all prepped and have a horse all ready to go for a race and then poof, anything. It could be weather. It could be the horse. It could be.
What about here?
50 million different reasons.
I'll have another.
I'll have another. That's right. If I had some in the first place.
Right. He was in 24 hours of maybe winning the Triple Crown.
Yep. Poof.
They're here today and gone tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you need to realize that you're dealing with
and it's not because of abuse or anything like that. This is just what it is. I meant to look up.
What are you going to look up?
Historically, racing careers, the length of horses' racing careers, historically. I know we race a lot more. They race a lot more.
Well, sure.
Today than they have.
Well, they never used to race in a
But
winter.
At what age?
Listen, racing was for the very, very elite.
A lot of horses, 2 and 3 years old, and that's it. Boom.
All right, we're up against the bottom of the hour. That means it's 30 minutes into the show, or an hour and a half to do. We're going to do that along with you. Hopefully, on the other side of the break, we'll have King Arthur from the Racing Forum, Art Gropper, and you, me, and Sam.
Buy the best custom full-color balloons with your photo, logo, or design that will blow your next party or event away with photoballoonstore.com. Take a look for yourself and see why photoballoonstore.com is the place for full-color custom print photo balloons. Our balloons are not made out of rubber, latex, or mylar. They're made from a durable aluminum foil composite film that keeps them inflated longer than any other balloon sold. 11 inches in diameter uninflated, 9.5 inches inflated. These balloons can be reinflated over and over again. Cheer on your Miami Heat basketball team at home or the arena with our version of the Miami Heat Dream Team balloon. These limited edition memorabilia balloons are available for only $6.95 for a limited time. Visit photoballoonstore.com for more. Order yours today. We deliver on time and fast. photoballoonstore.com.
Yoga Gangsters, a Miami-based non-profit organization, provides free yoga programming to youth and young adults who are either at risk or in crisis. The Yoga Gangsters' mission is to use yoga as a tool to teach youth self-awareness, self-respect, and self-control. If you're interested in establishing a program or wish to make a contribution, contact Marisol at 305yoga.com or explore their website, yogagangsters.org.
CBC5 is the executive liaison for all your building compliance needs. Serving South Florida from the Palm Beaches to Key West, CBC5 delivers 5-star service that brings...
what's this ABC, BDQ, whatever?
CBC5. It stands for Complete Building Compliance.
Oh, I ain't building nothing, so what can they do for me?
Well, they do more than plan review and permitting. They help the little guy cut through red tape.
I got duct tape holding together my carport.
Well, CBC5 can help. Let them deal with bureaucrats. They helped George Rodriguez solve a sewer lateral problem, and they saved him a ton of money and hassles.
By City Hall, who can do that?
CBC5 can do that. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a commercial to finish. Contact Shoddy the Hottie at CBC5, 786-255-3851, or log on to cbc5.net. That's cbc5.net.
Hey, it's Gina Martell with my fabulous co-host,
Dr. Dennis Netter.
Are you a sexual predator? Could you be? Find out how easy it is to be labeled one.
Join us August 2nd for Love and Sex on SoFloRadio.com.
Love and sex. Better love, better sex, and better life.
The most listened to radio station on the web. SoFloRadio.com.
All right, folks, welcome back to It's Post Time on the SFAN network. That stands for South Florida Equine Network on SoFloRadio.com. 954-822-2201 will always get our attention.
Yep. We got somebody else's attention.
Did we? The
yeah.
King?
Hear him on the one side of your head?
My main man, the King. He used to be the king of trivia, as he tells his listening audience in New Jersey. Now he's the king of common sense.
Even he's laughing. I can hear you, Arthur.
King, is that true? Are you the king of common sense?
Actually, Jay and Sam, I've been elevated to the Emperor of Afternoon Drive.
No.
I have a new title. Yeah, I'm the Emperor of Afternoon Drive. My competition in the Afternoon Drive has decided to leave. So as far as I'm concerned, I've conquered Afternoon Drive in Atlantic City, so I'm now the Emperor of Afternoon Drive. I don't know how that rates me in South Florida, but in Southern New Jersey, that's how I rate.
Well, King, why don't you tell the folks they can listen to you online if they so desire? Give them the number,
your locale
there.
Yeah, I'll give everybody my website, KingArthurWIBG.com. And on that website, it'll tell you a little bit more about me. And certainly there's a listen live link. There's a schedule of upcoming guests. So it's KingArthurWIBG.com. And also you can listen live, WIBGradio.com. And I think we're on TuneIn. You know, we're on a few of the applications on for your cell phones and stuff like that.
It's true. We here at SoFlo Radio, we are on TuneIn Radio also, and that's a free app. That's a great app.
It is. You can any station in the country.
Right, and take it and you can listen to it and anywhere you want to go. But again, we're going to talk some horse racing here, but I need to talk to you because I haven't talked to you in a little bit. Any word on your co-host who was murdered?
No, Jay, 47 days ago, my co-host for almost 3 years, her name is April Kaufman, lived in a rather affluent area of Atlantic County. The biggest crime that happens in Linwood, New Jersey is when someone goes 45 and a 35 past a 7-Eleven. Unfortunately, less than 24 hours after our show on Wednesday, May 9th, on May 10th, someone, we still don't know any of the details, JJ and Sam, but someone went into her home and shot her multiple times and killed her. Oh. And 47 days later, there's absolutely no word. I just finished my radio show here in New Jersey. I mean, they're outraged. Some people aren't, but her house is right near a high school, and they didn't lock down the school or take any precautions that you would think that they would have done. And they basically said that they knew who did it, and there was no threat to the community. But now we're 47 days later, and other than the prosecutor's office announcing she was shot multiple times, that's been about it. And it's sad because you have to figure, I'm a horse racing handicapper, but I have watched CSI from time to time, and in 6 weeks the DNA evidence is in. I mean, they have all the evidence, so it's just mind-boggling. It's kind of like after a horse race when you think you have a sure winner and you don't, and then the horse loses, and you just shake your head. Well, that's the point where I am with this murder investigation, and to me, they should have investigated our radio station. She was at the station 24 hours. They should have been there. They never were. They never came. And I'm just wondering if they have anything at this point.
Did they ever talk to you?
They did not contact me, but this happened on a Thursday, and on Sunday afternoon, after not contacting me, I called them, and I gave them the information that I knew, including where she was going right after the show. But I mean, it's Jay. It's almost surreal. It's almost like it,
So you were virtually with her hours before her murder, and they never called you.
Never.
We were on the air at 4:00 on Wednesday, and she was murdered. They found the 911 call came in Thursday morning, 11:30 a.m.
Wow,
it's unbelievable.
And so they're changing the guard to the prosecutor's office. That might have something to do with it, but you would think any person would have at least received some kind of a justice. But then there are so many. As I investigate this and look through, there are so many stories of unsolved murders, and even when they do solve them, it sometimes takes a long time. So it's just a tragic thing that happened, and it's part of life. It's part of getting up every day, and you don't expect stuff like this to happen, and you try to make the best of it. She was a huge veterans advocate, April Kaufman, and it was a national story. Jay said I was on Good Morning America.
You were?
Yeah, we saw you.
I mean, I keep scrolling through my phone in the morning to see if anything happened. But let's switch gears here, and you are a very good handicapper and a writer for the Daily Racing Forum for a very long time. My question to you, with the uncertainty of medication in the game, as you as a handicapper, how do you handicap when there might not be any kind of medication race day?
Nah, it's so hard, especially, Jay, when I know certain states, and I can't even name them off the top of my head, I know are allowed to use Butte. And, I mean, that has something that's not been in the racing form. I mean, certainly first Lasix, and when I first started handicapping, New York had Lasix banned. So that was a whole different variable, too. When you had horses coming from New Jersey to New York or New York to New Jersey, they were getting Lasix, they weren't getting Lasix. look, you were a trainer for a lot of years, Jay. You think they need help, and especially, we're asking these horses to run sometimes 12, 15 times a year. I mean, so I definitely think that it's a factor in handicapping when you factor in first Lasix. When the Europeans come over, almost every single one of them get first Lasix, besides getting a weight break, because most of them are carrying 130 over there. But Jay, we can only handicap what they tell us, and I was always upset that Butte wasn't always in the racing form for the certain tracks and states that have Butte legal on race day.
You could take Butte and throw it out the window. It's you know what? It helps, but it's not going. It's not going to change a horse's form that much. But Lasix will change a horse's form. It will change a horse's form. Now, I'll also admit, Sam, I don't mean to step on you. I'll also admit that there are a lot of horses out there that probably really don't need Lasix, but it helps all horses. It helps more than others, and quite frankly, every opportunity that I had to put one of my horses on Lasix, I did it, and I continue to do it. And I think if you're a trainer and you don't do it, you're giving up a little bit of an edge, and there's not many edges out there to give up. And come on, King, you know how many races I won. I won a lot of them. And you did everything that you could possibly do legally to help a horse win a race. And I saw nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all. And I would continue to do that. My daughter does that to this day. My second wife, Candy Reed, who trains at Philadelphia Park, who's married to a veterinarian. These are athletes. You need to help these horses, help yourself, and help your client win a race. How do you feel about that, King?
Oh no, I'm absolutely. I'm a firm believer in, if the horse isn't going to be bred, geld them too. You got to, to me, same thing with weight. I mean, if you lose a race by a nose and you're giving away a pound or two, I mean, there are so many factors in winning a horse race, and primarily for those novice bettors or for whatever. If you see a horse that's been stopping, they get first Lasix, they usually go a lot further on the lead, and that's been typical for a long time. But then you ask yourself the question, why doesn't a horse have Lasix? And the only thing I could think of is maybe of the cost. Maybe some smaller outfits don't get it, but I agree with you, Jay. I think Lasix, gelding horses, weight, every little variable to me is vital, and that's why I love the daily racing form and the stats, the trainer stats that go back for the previous year's January 1st. So the stats you see in the racing form are from January 2011 to the present, and they give the first Lasix stats. There were some trainers, like when I started working at the racing forum back in 2000 in New York, Alan Jerkins, every first Lasix horse was winning, and that's the kind of stuff that I look at. And now I look at his stats, and he was like 1 for 18 since 2011. But there's certainly angles play into it. Watching the races every day, very important. But I agree with you, Jay. I mean, why wouldn't you give a horse Lasix if it's available? The only thing I could think of is, I know it costs money to do it.
They haven't, you know what, we're up against a break. It's going on 45 minutes past the hour here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. You're listening to It's Post Time. I am JJ along with King Arthur Gropper from the Racing Forum and Sam. We'll be back with you on the other side of the break.
Make your next party a splash with the Miami Mermaid.
The Miami Mermaids are a trio of mer people that bring sensational fun and a unique blend of ambiance to your events, parties, or weddings. Based in Miami, the Mermaids have traveled to such fabulous places as the Hamptons and the exclusive Mar-a-Lago. Let them travel to you. These exceptional performing artists and supporters of the Save Our Seas Foundation are available for party planners and hotel coordinators. Winners of the Vampire Wine Video Contest. Hire them for your next commercial or advertising campaign. Call 305-408-1116 or see them for yourself at miamimermaids.net.
Strawberry patch and smoothie come.
Get your hands off me.
Huh?
I said don't touch me.
I shouldn't have went to the party last night. Now I'm seeing talking fruit.
You're not dreaming, Bubba, and you're not putting me in that blender.
But you're just a fruit.
Who you calling a fruit?
You are. You're a delicious passion fruit.
Why, sure, I'm passionate. How would you like to be blended, huh? I got right, you know.
Customers waiting. You gotta go.
Yeah, but wait, you can...
At Power Smoothie in Aventura, we show fruit no mercy. Always fresh, always delicious. To make the best smoothies and wraps on earth, try our new cilantro lime-alicious wrap or our hot chipotle chicken. Power Smoothie in Aventura, located just north of the Aventura Mall in the Promenade Shops. Or call 305-792-5338. Open 7 days a week.
Bring spice to your life with AfterglowParties.com and tickle your fancy with an assortment of pleasure objects and toys, lotions and lubes, massage products, games, candles, and the highly sought-after Vibrating Sponge. Plus, so much more. Spice up your bridal shower, birthday party, or just a girls' night out. Let our experienced Glow Girls show you how with an Afterglow party. Much like a Tupperware party in the privacy of your own home. You'll have a lot of fun trying out the items, and our Glow Girl will explain how to use them. If you want an Afterglow party of your own, or just want to place an order, call 305-408-1116 or go to AfterglowParties.com. Ladies, you haven't lived until you've experienced your very own Vibrating Sponge. That's 305-408-1116 or go to AfterglowParties.com. We'll never tell.
By the Glass.
By the Glass is a show about beverage culture.
Brad Hubbard.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the dots on how everything works together. It's really all about how we enjoy things, how we enjoy life, and how beverages play a big part in that. I'm going to bring in people that are going to display their aspect of the culture. I'm going to bring in people that are going to show you different products. We're going to look at places where people go to consume these beverages and how they all interact. Things are built around the actual beverage itself.
By the Glass. Thursdays from 6 to 7. Only on SoFloRadio.com. Do you know who we are? SoFloRadio.com.
All right, folks, welcome back to It's Post Time on the SFEN Network, which stands for South Florida Equine Network on SoFloRadio.com. Jay along with Sam, and more importantly, we're along with you, and it's going on 49 minutes past the hour here. Arthur Gropper, crack handicapper and writer for the Daily Racing Form. We're discussing medication as far as handicapping and which ways are going to go. And King, you and I both know states cannot get together to agree on one thing. They just can't do it. It wasn't made that way that Jersey, Delaware, New York, and Maryland all could come up with a medication rule. They can't do it. They just don't want to do it, and they can't do it.
Yeah, I always thought we should have a national panel to look at inquiries and objections, because you see horrible calls, and I mean, let's face it, every track has their own group of stewards. Usually they're people who used to work at the track, or somebody knows somebody, and you don't know what happens. I would love to see a national board for that. This just broke on the DRF.com website that a trainer at Louisiana Downs named Keith Charles has been suspended 6 months for using a drug called the morphine, which is a pain reliever.
Mm-hmm.
He had a horse run second in a $5,000 claiming race. And
it's not just a pain reliever, though. It's like 10 times stronger than morphine.
It's made.
Oh, okay, wow.
Yeah, I'll tell you,
this is a heavy duty thing.
It's made from frogs.
Right. It's from green tree frogs, from South American green tree frogs that they recreated synthetically, and it's 10 times stronger than morphine.
I mean,
that is a problem.
Right, and that's the argument with the race day medication and medication in general, is that, and that was the always argument about New York and Lasix, that you could you could put the Lasix in with something else. But I mean, Jay, you were a trainer for years, so you know more than me. But let's face it, if people are going to find a way to get an edge, they're going to try to get an edge.
Listen, if you don't try and take an edge, shame on you. I don't mean medically that you need to take the edge. You need to do what you need to do to help that horse to win legally. And so if you do away with a race day medication, you're not going to do away with the cheaters. The cheaters are still going to find ways to go
cheat.
over there and cheat and get it done. I mean, so what did you accomplish? You just made the cheaters stronger, if you want to know the truth.
Yeah, because they'll find a way.
Yeah, they're going to find a way because they're going to have less competition now because you're running off of hay, oats, and water. Not going to work. And I'll debate this with anybody that wants to debate it with me about medication. I will. I'm sorry. People who call balls and strikes in this game don't know which end of a horse eats most of the time. Mm-hmm. Or ever paid a training bill. Or ever had horse shit on their shoes. They don't know.
Or ever had to go back to the barn after the horse stopped and have a vet come in and scope, which costs how much to scope a horse, and find out that he bled. I mean, it doesn't have to come out their nose for them to have bled within.
And how many of them had to write a check out at the end of the month to pay their trainer, and the horse made nothing?
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of different scenarios to go into this, and you need to do. How about if you told the NFL or professional ball players, hey, guess what, guys?
No locker room trips.
When they cart you off in the wagon and they take you over there and they give you your injection and you come out and run the 440, no more of that. How long do you think they'll last, King?
Well, but they're saying, the athletes are asking for it.
Believe me,
the horse doesn't. But it's a trainer making a decision.
You look at Major League Baseball. You look at just what happened with Roger Clemens in Congress and steroids and all that kind of an issue. I mean, we have a guy who has more home runs than anyone else, and I don't know how many he hit on steroids. Who knows? I mean, so if there's an edge, people are going to get it, and I guess that's the unfortunate part. And then you have, like these guys at LAD and Louisiana Downs, they're grinding it out every day with 5 claimers. And certain tracks have rules. If the horse doesn't hit the board 3 or 4 times in a row, then you got to do something else with them. I mean, so these guys are under pressure. These horses need to perform to stay on track. It's trust me, it's not. It can't be easy for these trainers. They have a lot of pressures to make money, and let's face it. I mean, if you're in for a 5-claimer, you're not the blue blood in the Kentucky Derby.
Right.
Believe me, if a horse could talk, he might say, "Jay, give me a little something for pain."
Right, and if you say, well, then just retire them. Where are they going to go? Every week there are multiple because they're being sent to slaughterhouses. So there are multiple groups that are trying to place horses that nobody wants, that if nobody takes, they're going to slaughter. And it's not like shoot the horse in the head, he drops, and you cut him up and feed him to the dogs. I could understand that. I could go along with, because the horse, there's pain. The pain is like there's not. Shoot over. But the way the slaughterhouse is done is horrific. I mean horrific. These horses are alive when their throats are slit and they're hung upside down to bleed out. This is what their fate is. So here, there's so multiple ends of racing and for a trainer. You want to keep, he's an athlete, he wants to run. You want to keep him in the best condition you can to keep his career going so that you know where he is. Because once he leaves your hands, you have no clue. Not a clue.
Well, listen, I claimed a lot of horses. I had a lot of horses claimed from me.
Mm-hmm.
After I lost a horse, did I follow his career? If I ran into it, but you know what? I kept, as long as I had him, I did the best I could. When he left me, I couldn't worry about him anymore.
No, you'll drive yourself insane. You would.
You know,
if I worried about every horse that went through the barn and where they ended up, I would go insane.
But the bottom line is, if I were a handicapper and I was trying to, I'm handicapping now. Everybody's supposed to be running on a level field, and their forms are going south. King, what are you going to do? How are you going to adjust your style now when they're running backwards?
Right. I mean, like I said, in handicapping, there are so many different variables. And, I mean, to me, something like a trainer change, going from a 20% trainer to a 2% trainer, I mean, that tells me right there the 20% trainer knows the horse can't win, and he's dumped it on a guy who can't win. And sometimes those horses are overbet. I mean, one of the, biggest angles that I find is those trainer changes. And you're not going to get most times you're not going to get the same performance from the previous trainer. You're either going to get a big improvement or you're going to get a big decline. I mean, usually horses are not going to run the same race for that previous trainer. So it's your job as a handicapper to try to decipher through it. And
if a horse is going to run,
a lot of that does include.
If a horse is going to
run, has the horse been on Lasix? I mean, Jay, almost all of them are on almost every single horse is on Lasix. So it's not that usually doesn't even hardly ever comes into play.
Right, but I'm saying if you're going to win a race off a claim, you're going to win a race when you run it back, because that still has that guy's training in the horse. You know what I mean? You didn't have enough time to screw him up, the other trainer, or I shouldn't say screw him up, or different feeding. You have different, as I call it, different hotels. When you go to a different hotel.
I know, Jay, but we know those 1 for 40 trainers. They could have a 9-length lead at the 16th pole and lose the race. I mean, some guys just can't win, and those are the guys that, when they bet them, I'll throw them out every time. So.
Oh yeah, when they beat you, you just go, you know what? He won his race for the year. I don't have to worry about him anymore. I mean, that's how I used to look at it. I mean, and I used to congratulate the guy, because you know what? When I was at Atlantic City and running 5, 6 a night and winning 2, 3, 4 a night, you get accustomed to that, and you want to do that. So and people say, you didn't even go down there to get your picture taken. I said, well, I had something else to do. I mean, but 9 times out of 10, I wanted to be there next to my horse that won. But he is right. When you go from a winning trainer to a guy who doesn't win, you pitch him.
Mm-hmm.
You
just have to, because it's just the way it is.
Yep.
Hey, Jay, when I was handicapping at Atlantic City Track, you had horses coming in from Hawthorne all over the place. And, how do you figure these horses out? Well, hey, look, if the leading trainer said, bring me the horse from Hawthorne, I had to figure that the horse could run a little bit, and I made a lot of money on those horses. Thank you, JJ. Thank you.
King, I am not going to put something in the stall that can't get around there pretty quick, because a stall means money to me. And
real estate. Precious real estate.
And you can't do it.
And really, Jay, that's one of the angles that I look at. If there's the trainer battle going on late in the meet, and you see one of the trainers acquiring horses from different circuits to win races, I love that. I absolutely love that. So that's another thing that I look at, too.
Can you hang?
Guys like to win the trainer's title. It doesn't mean a damn thing other than pride, but they love to win the trainer's title.
Can you hang for another couple minutes?
Oh, absolutely. However long.
Okay.
However long.
We're up against the top of the hour. That means it's 6 o'clock here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. You're listening to It's Post Time. We're talking to King Arthur Gropper from the Daily Racing Form, and we're talking to you. I'm going to tell you how I won a lot of races when we come back.
Jan Michael Morris isn't just any attorney. He's your attorney. The Morris Law Office, handling your legal needs for more than 20 years, providing a wide range of legal services for those who need it most. Let Jan Michael Morris put his experience to work for you. Call Jan Michael Morris at his Boca Raton office at 561-395-4195 and speak to Jan Michael Morris directly. That's 561-395-4195 or visit themorrislawoffice.com.
Spokesperson is not an attorney.
It only takes 90 days to create a new habit. You can do it. Give yourself 90 days to create a better, stronger, healthier you. For just $99, step into the brand new eco-friendly yoga studio with the uber-friendly staff and step out refreshed, motivated, and empowered. You can do it. 305 Yoga, 7300 Biscayne Boulevard, Suite 400, 305-917-5886, 305yoga.com.
Want to sell? A new beginning is just a click away.
Monica Sells Miami is just a Gmail away.
A new place is just a click away.
Monica Sells Miami is just a Facebook.com away. Facebook.com/The Monocles.
A new home is just a click away.
Monica Sells Miami. 305-494-1248. Monica Uribe. ASAP Realty and Investment. North Miami Beach. 305-494-1248.
Hi, this is Boca from the George Rodriguez Show and the Boca Show on WNN. You know, when Clark Kent would go into a phone booth, he'd come out as Superman. The only problem Lewis has is he can't find a phone booth. But you can find Lewis on the Powwow.
We're worldwide, baby.
Interactive Lifestyle Radio.
SoFloRadio.com.
SoFloRadio.com. The South Florida Radio Network.
All right, folks, welcome back to It's Post Time, your time check. It's going on 3 minutes past the hour here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. JJ Sam, Arthur Gropper from the Racing Forum, and we're along with you. You know, it doesn't take rocket scientists to win races. And you know what? You want to be leading trainer, at least, you know, I kind of like being leading trainer. There's nothing wrong with it. You know, I was it a lot of times, and God knows how many people would have liked to have been a lead trainer and they couldn't be. But there's a condition book, and everybody, it's a book that comes out with races for anywhere from 10 days to 2 weeks, and it tells you what races are being offered for your stable. So if you got a brain, and Eddie Moore was my partner in Mainline Stable, we would go out and buy maybe 15 or 20 horses that were maidens, non-winners of 2, had conditions, were 5/8 a mile turf horses because Atlantic City had a great turf course. And then I would run through all their conditions, King. And then when the meet was half over, I'd sell them all and get another bunch. I mean, that's how I did it.
Right. Of course, it took, the skill as horsemen and getting the horses ready and prepping them and walking them in the mornings, working them, putting the right jockey on, and then, of course, the brains part of the outfit and getting putting them in the proper spots.
That's it. You put them in the right race and they win.
Oh, no. I mean, but, Jay, when you were back in your heyday, I would say probably in the mid-90s at Atlantic City, the racing forms didn't put in the conditions of the races. A 4-claimer was a 4-claimer.
Right.
Now they break it down into the state breds and non-winners of 3, and that's where I had a huge edge as a handicapper because a 4,000 claimer open is a hell of a lot different than a 4,000 claimer non-winners of 2 lifetime. By leaps and bounds, you could have former graded stakes horses in a 4-claimer, and the non-winners of 2. Obviously, it says exactly what it is: horses that had maybe just broken their maiden or just won once, and you're absolutely right, Jay. Finding the horses for the right conditions, and the same thing when you handicap a race. You have to know the condition of the race.
Right.
And some of them don't have any, but most of them do. Especially non-winners of 3. The horse is in the wrong condition. most of the time, to me, they're automatic throwouts. There are certain instances where they're not, and that to me would say that, hey, the horse is really, really sharp. The trainer might try to leap a condition with a horse, but for the most part, the guys like you, Jay, and those 20-25% trainers, those guys that I usually focus on betting, they know the condition book like the back of their hand.
Well, they need to, and I used to hear a lot of stuff. You're doing this, you're doing that. I said I'm just using common sense. I would go in to Ed Vimack, and I loved him as a racing secretary, and I'd go in and I'd enter maybe 10, 12 horses for the day, and maybe only half of them would get in. And I would say, Ed, here's another 10 horses. If you need them, put them wherever you want them. I don't care where you put them. The only thing I want is put them in a spot where they're going to be the favorite. So I don't care if you drop one from 15,000 to 5, put them in. If you need them to close the entries, because I can't win any races if the races aren't filling.
Running, right.
So people would say, you're making races for Gracie. He said, I'm making races for him. He gives me 10 horses, tell me to enter it wherever I need them. And he doesn't care whether you claim them or not. But you guys don't claim them. You're scared to death of them because you're afraid.
You think, because they think you're dropping in when you're just filling a race.
Listen, my payroll was $10,000-$12,000 a week. I had to win. I didn't care. You know what? As long as that horse won, hello. I could tell you when that horse hit the wire how much money was in my account. Minus jock mounts, minus pony mounts, minus everything. Because, the accountant would call up and say, listen, man, you need to put $30,000 in the account by Monday. So I'd walk down the barn and look at a couple and say, you know what, you were here for a while, I like it, but guess what, you're going to get claimed tonight because you're the designated hitter. That's how I did it, King. I just put them in where they had to win. They could pull the freaking starting gate and win. And that's what you needed to do.
Oh, I certainly, like I talked about in the first hour about positive trainer changes, there are certainly negative trainer changes, and when you're the leading trainer, it's just like when you see horses that leave Todd Pletcher's barn. I think I've seen one win through the years, or maybe two, but for the most part, I mean, once Todd says bye-bye, it's bye. Bye-bye. I mean, he's not saying bye-bye to potential graded stakes winners down the road. So, that's the human factor. I mean, people would, say, why do you bet horses? I have no idea. I just love it. I started going to the track, I guess, when I was 12, and I just love the idea of looking through statistics, finding the one that I think is going to run big today, putting money on it, and in a couple minutes cashing the ticket. And I mean, that was always the appeal to it. But there is something said for cashing tickets, and that's what we try to do every single day.
Speaking of cashing tickets, Doug O'Neill cashed a ticket for $20,000 today. He bet $100. He bet $100 in the early book at 200 to 1, and I'll have another for the Derby.
Oh wow! Yeah.
That's
pick that up.
Terrific. So
I mean, you pick up a little.
Well, but Jay, I have to tell all the listeners that you've been a regular guest on my talk show here in Atlantic City, and you right before I guess it was 2 days before the race. We did a preview on the race, and you said that you were very uneasy with him not working between the Preakness and the Belmont. You thought there was some issue there, and then the next morning he was scratched. And you were right on top of it, Jay. So you have not missed a beat, my friend. You know exactly what's going on, and
I thank you for that compliment. But you've been around horses and followed Fleet Alex around the country and watched him prep for the Bell and races like that. You just don't go 3 weeks between races, and let alone going a mile and a half, and think your horse is going to have enough air.
Right, but there were other experts that said there was nothing wrong with it. So.
Yeah, there was.
And you absolutely nailed that one, and I obviously scratching I'll Have Another was a big blow for the industry. We got a great race out of it. No question about it. But to have another Big Brown situation would have been just horrible for the sport. So, in one instance, it hurt that he didn't run, and it certainly would have been exciting. But I don't want to see a horse like Big Brown.
No one wants
to me, that was an embarrassing day for horse racing.
Do you know what's going to be a great horse race, my friend? A race called the Haskell.
Ooh.
Do you know that?
Yeah.
Our boy,
we'll see who Bobby shows up with. I mean, that's the thing. Who's Baffert going to run there?
He's running Bodemeister.
That's what I would believe. I've heard different things, so I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens. So,
Bodemeister is going to look Union Rags in the eye. It's going to be a hell of a horse race.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think, and we talked about this. We both picked Union Rags, even when I'll Have Another was in. He's a New York horse, and I don't know if I would bet against him in New York. But just like Stay Thirsty, when they left New York, they just weren't the same horse, and that's how I kind of feel about Union Rags. I know of course, he won a Fountain of Youth at Gulfstream, but to me, that's his home track. I think obviously Monmouth would favor Bodemeister and his tactical speed, and but we'll see what Bob does. You don't know. I'm sure he has a few tricks up his sleeve, and Rosario is headed to New York to ride starting this week, so that'll be interesting too. You get Baffert was going with Garcia, and now he's going with Bejarano mostly, and Rosario left. Johnny V's on the mend, and that's another factor. Johnny V, who knows if he'll be ready for Haskell Day and Union Rags again. I mean, it was first time Velasquez on Union Rags, and that ground-saving ride, that was brilliant. It's the same ride that Stay Thirsty had when he ran second the year before, and, there's no question about it, Che, that when you're going long, you got to try to save ground. It's pivotal in finishing well, and you saw it there. So there's a lot of stuff going on in horse racing, and I can smell Saratoga and Del Mar from here too. So
I would have never given the rail up if I was Mike Smith on Bodemeister. I never would have. You'd have had to jump over me. Sorry, but he did. And if he didn't give the rail up, he doesn't win. He wins.
Yeah, no. Smith was definitely criticized for that ride, and Union Rags was just meant to win that race. To me, very much like Empire Maker and Easy Goer. These were like New York horses who stumbled badly in the other races, and then came through that mile and a half. They'll never run it again, and some horses are meant to do it. Now, when he cut back to a mile and an eighth on a fairly speed-favoring Monmouth track, it's a whole different story. But hey, look, the great ones are able to do it, and we'll see if Union Rags fits there. Certainly, Jay, he had excuses in the Derby and Florida Derby, so we've said it so many times: the racing gods, racing luck, and a lot of that has to play into it too. But you would think that either Painter or Bodemeister, either one of the Baffert runners, they're going to be plenty tough, both at Monmouth and at Saratoga.
Yeah, plenty tough. Bobby Clean is going to get them. Bobby has a way of doing that.
And Dullahan.
Well, Monmouth does this thing. They've done it with Baffert for years. They pay him like a promotional fee. They pay him like $100,000 or $50,000, and they say, by the way, bring your horse along with you.
Hold on, hold your thought. We're up against a break. I'll tell you where that money comes from. It's going on 15 minutes past the hour. You're listening to It's Post Time. King Arthur Gropper's on the line. He'll be back. We'll let him go at 6:30. We'll be back with you.
social media marketing. You know your business needs it. Mouse Media's talented team can cover a wide array of services and will work one-on-one to help you achieve your business goals. Looking for a web marketer, a social media guru, web designer, developer, programmer, or graphic designer? Yep, they got it. Visit them at mousemedia.us.
That's mousemedia.us.
Or follow Mouse Media on Twitter and on Facebook.
mousemedia.us.
CBC5 is the executive liaison for all your building compliance needs. Serving South Florida from the Palm Beaches to Key West, CBC5 delivers 5-star service that brings...
what's this ABC or BDQ or whatever?
CBC5. It stands for Complete Building Compliance.
Oh, I ain't building nothing, so what can they do for me?
Well, they do more than plan review and permitting. They help the little guy cut through red tape.
I got duct tape holding together my carport.
Well, CBC5 can help. Let them deal with bureaucrats. They helped George Rodriguez solve a sewer lateral problem, and they saved him a ton of money and hassles.
By City Hall, who can do that?
CBC5 can do that. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a commercial to finish. Contact Shoddy the Hottie at CBC5, 786-255-3851, or log on to cbc5.net. That's cbc5.net.
The Field Irish Pub and Eatery, South Florida's truly authentic Irish pub, offers live music 5 nights a week, a full menu of great food, drinks, and a large selection of imported draft beers, including the best pint of Guinness in town. The Field has a charming home-style atmosphere. Enjoy a beautiful sunset under our banyan tree on our outdoor patio. Get lost in one of our snug dining rooms, or take in some real Irish music in the pub. The Field opens at 11 a.m. and serves daily lunch and dinner specials. The Field Irish Pub and Eatery is located at 3281 Griffin Road in South Broward, 1 mile west of 95 and 1 mile east of 441. For a taste of Ireland and South Florida, it's The Field Irish Pub and Eatery. Check out our website, fieldfl.com, for more.
All systems are functional.
And get past the reins to Mr. Jackal, the new king of radio.
Is there life on other planets?
This is nuclear physicist Stanton Friedman, an animal voice in the Jackal's head.
Is the government keeping secrets from us?
This is Stephen Bassett, and I am now a voice inside the Jackal's head.
Want to find out more? Listen to the Jackal's Head on the Super Media Network.
The biggest trick the Jackal ever pulled was to convince the world that he doesn't exist.
SoFloRadio.com, the South Florida Radio Network.
All right, Raisins fans, it's 18 minutes past the hour here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. You're listening to It's Post Time with JJ and Sam Gracie, along with King Art Gropper from the Daily Racing Forum. Let me explain to you where that slush money comes from, King. If you competed in the Triple Crown races and you hit the board and you went and ran in the Haskell, you got $50,000.
But where's the money come from?
It comes from the racetrack.
Oh, okay. I thought there was some secret.
No, there's no secret. No,
okay.
It's not a secret. But you just don't get $50,000 to bring any horse. That horse had to compete in the Triple Crown races and had to hit the board. Does that make sense to you?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
I mean, hey,
but I thought they gave Baffert extra money though. I thought that it was beside that money that he was getting. The track was actually paying him
well, you know what? If
money as a promotional fee because a lot of times he won't show up, to different tracks. Like, obviously you think you show up to the Haskell, but, if he had something else running at Saratoga or I'm sure at Del Mar, you never know. But, I don't know. Like, to me, that's like the rich getting richer, and
yeah, exactly.
Every time I see Baffert, he has another first-time starter doing a 58.5 furlong bullet before they even ran.
He
He does. He has Lamborghinis in a world full of Toyotas. So
ever since he had that heart attack in Dubai, he is a changed man. He is not braggadocious anymore.
Yeah,
I heard he went on a diet and he's trying to do all the right stuff.
No, he thought it was he thought it was his time to check out. And, when you're laying in there and you're.
Well, we'll see how long that lasts for. I mean,
hopefully.
Let's face it, Bob has had an arrogant attitude for years. So, but he seems to. I said that after this, he seems to have changed a bit, but we'll see.
But time will tell.
Yeah.
King.
But, King, he wouldn't show up, at the Breeders' Cup. You know what time he came in? By the time he got to the barn, only the few reporters that knew to hang around long after everybody else is gone would actually, even see him. And that was just the way Bob operated.
He's the man.
Mm-hmm.
He is the man. Do you really...
No. I mean, he...
Go ahead. What were you going to say? All right, listen. Let me talk to you a bit about Doug O'Neill. Doug O'Neill is, has all these medication problems hanging over his head, and they're going to do this. There's this trainer, Lou Penna, who's a standardbred trainer, had 1,700 infractions, but no bad tests, and they booted him out. He's got life. Do you know anything about that guy, that trot and horse guy?
I don't know much about him. I mean, there was a situation that didn't have to do with medication. A guy that I knew from Atlantic City Racetrack, Carlos Guerrero, he was absolutely dominating the standings at Philadelphia Park. And I'm assuming that they couldn't get him on a medical. And there was some issue with someone who worked in the racing office who made allegations. There were never any... All the investigations were negative, but they ruled him off the track.
Well,
and, I believe he's training. I believe he's training in New York, and I guess the tracks have every right to do that. But it seemed a bit arbitrary that without really any charges, how are you taking somebody's livelihood away, especially when you're doing very, very well?
Let me fill the blanks.
So New York
in for
is
you.
allowing him to run.
That's not true. Let me fill the blanks in for you, but maybe it is true. I put a phone call in today to Mike Bellezzi at Philadelphia Park to try and find out, the skinny. You ruled this guy off for 10 years, and from what I understand, he can't race anywhere for 10 years. And I want to know, what did he?
Guerrero?
Yeah.
I knew he was running horses in New York, and he was claiming horses.
His brother's doing it now.
I thought his brother took over his
brother
Parks Racing. But I, to my knowledge, he was in New York. Now I don't know whether that's true or not, but that was my understanding.
Well, if you're suspended in racing, you're suspended wherever you go. Well, look at this deal down here in Florida by this guy Robert Bone, who claimed 2 horses here at Calder and shipped them to California to run, knowing that Calder has the horses in jail till the meet's over. I mean, he can't run any place else. He doesn't necessarily have to run again, but he can't run any place else again but Calder till the meet's over.
Except for stake races.
You get permission to do that.
Right.
Did you read that, King?
No, I did not.
Anyway, California is going to let him, because they don't care. They don't have that kind of rule. If you want to claim a horse at Calder and ship him all that way to California, they'll let you run him. And I never heard that before, ever. Ever.
No, I mean, all the states have different rules, but, I thought if you were banned from one state, that didn't follow to a different state. Is that not? Because I thought that Rick Dutrow could not run horses at Churchill Downs anymore. That was my understanding. But he runs horses in New York and so forth. But I will follow up on the Carlos Guerrero thing, because to my knowledge, he was claiming horses and running horses at Aqueduct and at Belmont. Now, I could be wrong. It could be, there are a lot of Guerreros running around, but that was my knowledge, and my knowledge that it was his one of his relations had taken over his park stable, when they went from a 30% barn to about a 15% barn right away.
I mean, he's running 40% winners. Now, that's like every 2 horses you run over there, one's going to win. That's unheard of, King.
No, I mean, I was definitely following him, and he was aggressively placing his horses, and they all didn't win either. So, I mean, some of them lost, but still, Jay, it comes to a point where, so if you're very successful and they can't find a medical test, then they're gonna, if someone can say anything as an allegation, and there's no, the police investigate, they can't find anything, and you can't race there anymore. It seems a little. What was his? Little unreasonable to me, but I don't know the full story.
No,
but
and I don't either. But I do.
What was his
will
style? Was his style to jam horses down people's throats? To take that 40,000 claimer and shove them in for 20. I mean,
with those slot machines over there, you got $19,000 purses for $5,000. What are you going to do? You can claim one for 10, put them in for 5, and you can win.
I saw a race today. Candy had a horse in. It was 7,500 non-winners, 2. Purse was $23,000, 13,500 for the winner.
The bottom line is that the scrub trainers at Philly Park, they're not going to say, they don't miss Carlos Guerrero winning those races and buying horses from, and I mean, I think it was a bum rap. I think it was horrible what happened. I wasn't there. I really can't say, but I don't think that some person should just arbitrarily throw you off the grounds of a racetrack without any specific allegation or criminal charge, and the police found nothing. So there you go.
Well, I'm going to find out. I will get to the bottom of this one. I put the phone call in. If you don't call me, I'm going to start blasting you on the air. I'm going to make you call me.
Right.
I'm going to make you call me.
And if this guy is a threat to women, as they allege,
come on,
then there should be charges brought against him. It shouldn't just be at Philadelphia Park. It should be criminal charges should be brought against him if he is in fact a threat.
I mean, the only thing, all I know is that when Carlos Guerrero first started training horses, he was at Atlantic City Track. He maybe had 4 or 5 horses, and I mean, he was one of my friends. I knew the guy. I just can't imagine those allegations being true. But like I said, I don't know. I wasn't there. But no, if he's a threat to women, if he's doing crazy stuff, absolutely he should be thrown out. But in the same breath, if criminal charges were dropped, to me that leads to the fact that the charges probably weren't true. But
yeah, and we're not talking a year.
We will find out. So that's the beauty of it.
Right, King Arthur. We're not talking 6 months, a year out. We're 10 stiff years. That's what boggles my mind.
And what evidence do they have? What evidence do they have besides one person saying something? So I'm sure there are 100 people that could say the complete opposite, that Carlos Guerrero was nothing but a gentleman and a really, really, really nice guy to them. So,
even if in fact he did hug her, kiss her on the lips, and pat her on the ass, 10 years?
No, I mean, it's absolutely insane.
You don't even get 10 years for raping a woman.
Well, no, I'm just thinking, just popped into my head, Penn State, for God's sakes. Did nothing, and it was in children involving slapping sounds in the shower. God help us.
King Arthur, I want to thank you for taking an hour out of your important day to spend
it on,
you're the
man.
On its post time.
Do I have time to give out a winner, Jay? Or?
Go ahead. Sure. You have all the time you want. You could stay here till 7 o'clock if you want. I don't
care. 6th race tonight at Presque Isle Downs. I've been following the trainer Joe Martin. He's been just dominating the meet. For some reason, they have this horse 5-1 on the morning line. It'll probably be like 5-2. Summer Robin, number 2 in the 6th race. You get Vega, who just, he wins for Martin all the time. The favorite in the race is the 6, Taquitum. He's the 8-5 favorite, but he's one of these horses that he fired his best race right off the layoff, then he regressed a little bit, and he likes to run second or third. I think he's going to probably be in number but I think he's beatable for sure. And so 6th race, Presque Isle Downs tonight. I like the 2, Summer Robin, and we'll see what happens.
Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you again next week. We're going to step aside. It's 6:30 here in Fort Lauderdale. We'll be back with the conclusion on the other side.
It only takes 90 days to create a new habit. You can do it. Give yourself 90 days to create a better, stronger, healthier you. For just $99, step into the brand new eco-friendly yoga studio with the uber-friendly staff and step out refreshed, motivated, and empowered. You can do it. 305 Yoga, 7300 Biscayne Boulevard, Suite 400, 305-917-5886, 305yoga.com.
Put a team of professional consultants behind your home or business computer with Key Information Solutions, providing solutions to your internet and computing needs while keeping you on the cutting edge of technology, preventative maintenance and networking support, hardware and custom-built computers. Let Key Information Solutions be your personal tech staff for your home or office with affordable hourly, monthly, or annual rates to fit anyone's budget. Call Key Information Solutions now, 954-973-3374. That's 954-973-3374. Or visit keyinformation.com. Buy the best custom full-color balloons with your photo, logo, or design that will blow your next party or event away with photoballoonstore.com. Take a look for yourself and see why photoballoonstore.com is the place for full-color, custom-printed photo balloons. Our balloons are not made out of rubber, latex, or mylar. They're made from a durable aluminum foil composite film that keeps them inflated longer than any other balloon sold. 11 inches in diameter uninflated, 9.5 inches inflated. These balloons can be reinflated over and over again. Cheer on your Miami Heat basketball team at home or the arena with our version of the Miami Heat Dream Team balloon. These limited edition memorabilia balloons are available for only $6.95 for a limited time. Visit photoballoonstore.com for more. Order yours today. We deliver on time and fast. photoballoonstore.com.
Monday nights will never be the same. Silverman on Sports invades SoFloRadio.com. Join Bruce Silverman and his cast of characters as they take on the world of sports every single Monday night from 7 to 9 here on SoFloRadio.com. Don't miss a minute of the show.
SoFloRadio.com and SoFloTelevision.com. SoFloRadio.com and SoFloTelevision.com.
All right, folks, it's 34 minutes past the hour on a Tuesday. You're listening to It's Post Time on the South Florida Equine Network. Slow.
You're slow. So
flow. Radio. 954-828-2201. You know, Art Gropper, he and I have been friends for...
King Arthur.
The king for who knows?
Well, I know at least 16 years. And that's minimum.
Yeah, well, we go way back a lot further than
Whack TV.
Yes.
Whack television. Yeah. He's a good guy.
I know that that Carlos Guerrero is a friend of his.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, and we will get to the bottom of that because someone needs to get to the bottom of that.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't turn somebody upside down because the guy wins 40% of his races, whether he's cheating or not. Which obviously they never caught him.
Right. Isn't it important to do that? If
think.
that's what you believe, isn't that what the seek for justice is about?
Right. Well, let's talk a little bit about.
Go ahead.
You were telling me that Roger Atfield wants to win the Queen's Plate
again.
Again.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think you might have the Queen's Plate.
I do. He didn't win it, but
he didn't win it. But the Queen's Plate is like our Kentucky Derby.
Yes, it is. And I had it.
Well,
here we go. You want the Queen's Plate, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
For you folks who've never heard the Queen's Plate, we'll let you hear it.
And she's in there now. They're out the post. They're off in the Queen's Plate. Big Creek shows early speed, as does Classic Bryce, and Straight of Dover's forward to be placed in the early going, as is Colleen Sailor, as they move in front of us for the first time, and it's Straight of Dover to set the pace. Colleen Sailor's on the outside in the second, and Classic Bryce is close to the pace in third. Macho Whiskey clings to the rail in fourth, and Big Creek is fifth. Wilcox in the sixth position, and Irish Mission is just to the outside of Wilcox. Then we have Peyton, who saves ground. Golden Ridge is just alongside. Then Ultimate Destiny and Making Amends. River Rush has 2 3-year-olds beaten. Washington Dash and Dixie Strike, the filly, trails this field into the backstretch. The opening half mile, 47.
We lost the race.
I don't know. It could be the weather here.
We lost the Queen's Plate. Oh,
that's weird.
Can anybody find the plate?
That is very weird.
Well, if we get it back, we get it.
I don't know what happened. I don't.
You don't know what happened?
Just stopped.
Well,
I'll do it differently next time. But what the hay?
What? That's what horses eat, is hay.
I know. It stopped. It just stopped. It won't start again either.
But you know what? The reason why Roger Atfield was so upset because the fact that they're screwing around with their money in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to ruin racing in Canada like they do every place else when it comes to greed over money.
Mm-hmm.
Why does money have to be such a greedy thing?
Can you separate the two? It's like,
Dixie Strike, the
there we go.
trails
Sorry.
this field into the backstretch, the opening half mile.
No, forget it. It's just not going to happen.
Just doesn't
it's
want
just, it's being stubborn. So I'm not gonna do that to people. Drive them out of their minds with it. So come up with something else, Mr. Gracie, because I just
you just can't.
I just blew that one.
You blew that. Is there another race or two around you?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If I go off that, then I'm afraid the same thing's going to happen.
When we had Steve Haskin on the air last night, and I had said, Steve, you've probably watched or have been around more really good horses than any person I ever been around.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a guy there that you would never know. I never knew who Steve Haskin was. I said, who is this guy?
Yeah.
And he's very, he's just kind of just fits in with the people with his little pad
in the background and yeah.
And he sits there and he does his thing. But to go back to Philadelphia Park and the great purse money that they give out and title that they do, and then when a governor finds out that you have all these $1 million sitting in a fund getting ready to be used, and your state is looking to get money,
mm-hmm.
you shouldn't be able to take that from them.
No, that I don't get. And they just keep messing around with racing. Everybody does. It's not just Pennsylvania. Everybody's doing it. We're the patsy. Honestly, I really believe that we're just utilized by other people to gain what they want, and then they kick us in the teeth.
Well, I told you the story. I had
the spouse that works 3 jobs to put their spouse through medical school or something like that, and once they get their goal and become a doctor, they pretty much like, see you later, bye, thanks.
Well, I told you I had a client, and he questioned my training bill at the end of the month, and he was taking money off it, and I asked him why you were doing that. And he said, well, the horse doesn't train every day. I said, yeah, that's true. But I said, he eats every day, and his groom is there every day. I said, what do you want me to do?
Mm-hmm.
I said, you know what you need to do, buddy? Get a van over here, bring my check, and get your horse out of here.
That I don't get. You know, that's the part that they don't seem to. Speaking of which, I'm wondering how many people watch the Undercover Boss deal and what they felt about it when they did
Churchill Downs. Well, I know it
just curious.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not talking. The only people that I talked to a lot was that movie Luck, that the Horsemen were really up in arms over.
Mm-hmm.
And you're telling me that that's going to come back?
Well, they
what?
don't want it to go away. They just want to redo, I don't know, whatever. But first of all, it's taken an extreme thing and making a story out of it. Something that I've never experienced at the racetrack. You know what I mean? I don't know any gangsters at the racetrack, and I guess I've been fortunate that I've worked with you and got to know horse racing through you, who treats his horses very well.
Listen, since the beginning of time, Sam,
and the owner deal too. I mean, if you want to go true stories, then do true stories. Do where, a trainer works his butt off and the staff works their butt off and the horse just isn't that talented. So, the owner bought the horse for X amount of dollars and the trainer's working with him and he's not worth that much money. So then he's got to go to the owner and say, listen, you really need to put him here. And the owner goes, what? I paid blah, blah, blah. And the carrying on. And they demand that horse run for that money that he bought him for this much, so he should run for this much. And they make you put that horse in somewhere he doesn't belong and get his head handed to him. Not once, not twice.
You don't do that
and
with
then they turn around, and because the horse didn't win, they give it to another trainer.
And he puts it where he wants.
And at first he does the same thing. And then all of a sudden, the drop. And guess where the drop's to? Right where he told him in the first place. And wouldn't that horse been better off to win instead of getting its head handed to him 3 times? You could have been earning money if you just listened. So,
Sam, what was my favorite line to a client?
Which one? You have so many lines, Jay. That's ridiculous.
Well, my favorite line was, if you want a pet, get a dog.
Right. No, I don't think that's a pet. That would be more kind to say, okay, my pet can't jump that high. This, to them, is strictly a money-making entity. And if I pay this much, this is where he should be.
I often wonder how clients can afford a racehorse, did really well in business, and how they can lose their brains. They check their brains at the stable gate when they come in.
Because in the business world, if you buy something, that's its value. In the horse racing business, you can put a value on a horse. That doesn't mean that the horse will live up to the value. Green Monkey. Huge example.
What was it, 16 million?
No, he was only 5 million. 16 million.
No.
Green Monkey.
No, Green Monkey was
14
or 16 million. No, you're...
Really?
Oh, yeah, you're way off.
Green Monkey purchase.
I'll guarantee you that.
I'll tell you in a second.
He was no 5 million.
All right, Green Monkey retired.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. You are right. See, I told you I do have a brain that's not.
How much was he bought for?
Exactly, 16 million.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. $16 million
$16 million. And what do they do?
Makes a nice lawn ornament, doesn't he?
No, he's went to stud.
Stud? What do you want to make? More bad Green Monkeys?
Oh, apparently they did. Because he went.
Has he ever had any winners?
I'll have to
We're up
do that.
against a break. It's 45 minutes past
Man,
the hour.
you work the daylights out of me.
When we come out of break, maybe we can find out if he ever sired a winner. We'll
That
be
would
back
be nice.
with. Now we will be back with the conclusion.
Yeah, now we will.
When you're ready to actually lose weight safely and steadily while being monitored by a physician, the Weight Loss Clinic of Dr. Kim Jacobson is there for you. The family medicine practice was established by her father in 1956 and continues as a medical practice that now specializes in weight reduction. Dr. Kim Jacobson joined the practice 20 years ago as both a family medicine practitioner and weight loss specialist. The Weight Loss Clinic utilizes a combination of appetite suppression medication and vitamins to produce great results, usually 3 to 4 pounds per week for most patients. Now you can change your lifestyle while still enjoying your own food, just less of it. They offer a choice of 2, 3, or 4-week plans. So whether you just need to lose a few pounds or a lot, the Weight Loss Clinic of Dr. Kim Jacobson can help you. They're located at 5454 Northeast 4th Avenue in Miami, just 2 blocks west of 54th Street and Biscayne Boulevard. Call them at 305-751-0091. They'll be happy to answer any and all of your questions. That's 305-751-0091. Get started on a beautiful new body today with Dr. Kim Jacobson and the Weight Loss Clinic.
Hi, this is Jeff Cohen of the Pizza Loft. The Pizza Loft has been making the best pizza in South Florida for over 300 years.
Wait a minute. Whoa.
What?
Just because you make the best pizza in town don't necessarily mean you can voice your own commercials.
Why not? Look, I just painted my nails for this.
You just get back in the kitchen and do what you know best, okay?
Well, if you think you can do a better job.
A dead man can do better at this, and I'm almost there. Now scram.
All right.
Now see here. You want the best pizza in town? Not to mention a full menu of mouth-watering Italian dishes at prices the whole family can afford? Then you ought to know by now. Pizza Loft is the place for great Italian dining. And the pizza. Mo knows. I stole my share. That's Pizza Loft. 3514 South University Drive in Davie. Or call 954-916-8880.
If you're not tuning into the Byron Egger Show with H-Love, you're missing stuff like this. What is with the George Rodriguez crappy music? Plays these long breaks, and it's just the whole break is...
And really, seriously, we don't want to listen to that. Please start playing some decent music.
The same beat over and over again.
I'm sexy and I know it, yeah.
Stop the insanity and tune into the Byron Egger Show with me, H-Love. Weeknights Monday through Friday, 10 to 11 p.m. on the one and only SoFloRadio.com.
SoFloRadio.com, the South Florida Radio Network.
.48 minutes past the hour here in Fort Lauderdale. You're listening to It's Post Time on South Florida's Equine Network on SoFloRadio.com. You know what?
Mm-hmm.
When you spend 14 or 16 million, we were at the sale when they bought that horse.
I know. I taped it. There's a tape of it somewhere.
Did you ever did he ever sire a winner?
You just think I am
you're
super
pretty,
person.
You are pretty damn good.
Green monkey sire. Okay, thoroughbred.
You would think if a horse, I mean, money means, in the horse business, it's like monopoly money. It doesn't mean a whole lot of sense to a lot of people because you cannot buy success in the horse business. You could try, but you still need that element of racing luck. And the racing gods really need to like you.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking.
You probably won't find much.
No, I'm trying to see.
But you know what? If you ever wanted to get into racing, there's some partnerships out there that you could get in fairly inexpensive, like $1,500, a couple $1,000. I mean, we had a lot of racing partnerships that won a lot of races. People never had any people that. How about that one guy that bought a share, Sam?
All yearlings were 2011, so he's just getting started.
All right. How about the guy that bought a share in our partnership way back in 2000?
Which one? The one that had horses
the one
already?
He had 6 or 7 horses and never won a race.
Mm-hmm.
And he said to you, "Do you think that we'll win a race?" And I remember telling him, "First time I run this horseback, he'll win. Just go over to wherever you want to go watch the race and tell him you own him, and he'll win."
All right, there is a Go Win Green Bay Thoroughbred colt. 10,000 they were asking for him. Born June 2nd, 2011. This handsome bay colt with a star striped snip. 3 socks was born on June 2nd. He's out of High Royal Honor by the Green Monkey by Forestry.
Sounds to me like he wants turf.
The colt has Secretariat top and bottom. It'll be something special. He's registered Florida bred, nominated for the Florida Stallion Stakes, Breeders' Cup. Call and make an offer. They accept cash, check, credit card, anything you want.
Were you looking on somebody's site to sell
I
horses?
Googled, and this is what came up. So, doesn't say when this is put up, though.
Really, I mean, seriously, if you want to get into horse racing, and you want to get into it in a small way, just go into one of those limited partnerships. Put up a couple $1,000.
Oh yeah,
one
yeah,
time
a lot of fun. Just fun. Don't look for money from it. Just for fun.
You know, yeah,
that's the
exactly.
name of the game.
The game is to go over there and you get all the perks that an owner gets, and get to go to the winner's circle when your horse wins. You get to go back to the barn and feed it a carrot and talk to the grooms and just see what it's like.
They have a personality and everything. And we had the one thing we had. Everybody was all over the country, and they would go to OTBs or the racetracks to watch the horses run. And they said they just had a blast. You could be at a different racetrack and watch your horse run somewhere else, and we had it. Remember where were we? Colonial Downs, when my horse won down here at Calder, and we were screaming. Cooper's Pick. Oh my gosh! The security came over and was like, "You own the horse, obviously." I'm like, "Yeah, I do." But it's exciting, and it never gets old. To me, it never gets old.
If you can ever bottle the feeling that you get when you walk into a winner's circle, for those days that you don't get to walk in the winner's circle, you get to walk around it, by it, or through it.
Stare at it.
But you don't get to stand in it too
Salivating.
often.
Yeah. Remard Inc. is a dedicated team of veterinarians, trainers, and biochemists who are committed to manufacturing the most powerful and effective equine and small animal products on the market today. Their goal is to create and produce innovative, cutting-edge products that are made only with the highest quality pharmaceutical-grade ingredients available and are free of fillers and artificial ingredients. Whether you're competing on the racetrack, the show ring, or just competing for the love and affection of your backyard friend, you can count on Remard Inc. to deliver the quality products that you deserve and rely on. Give them a call at 513-490-2002. Go to remardinc.com. That's RAMARDINC.com, and they also have Human Joint Health Care.
That's Jeff Ramey's company, and Jeff Ramey is a supporter of It's Post Time and a really good guy and a horseman himself. And you know what?
And you can find their link on our joltnation.com, our website. It's right there.
And you know what? You could feed any product he has, and you don't ever have to worry about a horse coming back with a test that's not going to pass.
It's not that like that. Right. Also, if you're looking for something to be printed, whether it's a sign or banner, flyer, graphics, websites, whatever you need, vehicle wraps, you want to tell everybody your horse is headed down the road to race, which I think would be a great idea if everybody
You need to
did
get
it.
off that case.
I know. You can call Impact Printing. Make an impact with Impact Printing at 954-684-2348. That's 954-684-2348. You do flyers, brochures, business cards, the whole thing. You want your business card on a casino chip, a poker chip?
You know,
You
there's
can do
something that you make, and it's called a print on canvas?
Well, that's what I do. I work with Impact Printing, and we do prints on canvas. I did.
They are absolutely gorgeous.
Take your wind photo, put it on a photo on canvas. It's beautiful. Or if you need training charts, we do custom training charts too. Equine designs.
Or a barn sign.
Barn signs, stall plaques.
And you make vinyl barn signs. I mean, or
the stall things where you can put your bandages in and all that stuff.
Right.
You could do that too.
I mean, they're
with grommets
and they're fairly.
But the training charts are cool. What you do, I call it functional art, is I take a wind photo and I extract your horse out of the wind photo and I illusion them to the background where you can still write over it. And then the top has your header with your stable name and your horses again can appear up there. And it just doesn't have to be one horse. You might have a couple special horses that you would like to, we all have wind photos, so they're at home or they're in the office.
Well, there isn't any doubt. If you want
display
a hard to find gift for a horse person, they need to contact you because you have a great mind when it comes to, what do you always say? The only thing that stops you is your imagination.
And we'll help you on that part. So, Impact Printing, 954-684-2348.
Tomorrow.
Also, if you know somebody in gaming, I'll give you a heads up right there. BigShotMods.com.
Tomorrow.
Great company.
Win Jolly.
Oh, cool. Win.
We'll be on, and we're going to discuss the horse racing here in Florida as far as casinos, purse money, and stall allocations, and let's face it, Florida is, Ocala. That's the mecca for OBS, Ocala breeder sales, and all the Breyers, and you realize how many farms have folded.
I know.
When will tell you that?
No, I can tell by the people trying to find homes for a lot of these horses that people literally walked away from. Walked away because there was nothing more they could do.
So
they walk
Sam,
away.
do you think walking away from them or euthanizing them would be better? What do you think?
I don't know. I don't know. You would hope that, if a horse is out in the field, that maybe he could live off of the land. But they can't.
For how long?
They truly can't. So, as I said, I guess I would, I don't know. That's pretty hard to do.
It's a tough question.
It's a tough question.
That's
right.
And you raise this horse, but you don't want to see
You're
him
make
starve.
Him cry.
You don't want to see him go to slaughter. You know what I mean?
I honestly, I swear, I would shoot my horse in the head myself before I would send a horse to slaughter. Just because of what is done.
When we were on Sirius satellite radio, we had Bo Derek on. We should try and get Bo back on again. And
I don't know how active she still is.
Well, I don't think that you ever get inactive when you cared as much.
We worked with Cantor up in
Michigan,
and I have a friend who has a rescue place herself in Michigan, and great girl, works hard, double jobs just to keep trying to come up with money for hay.
Right.
I mean, there are people that are just trying to keep these.
All right, we're
going.
just going to about wind down the second hour of It's Post Time tomorrow morning from 8 to 10 a.m. JJ and Sam in the morning. We'll have a lot of topics to have you talk about around your water cooler or around your coffee pot there. Some of the things that go on overnight that you don't get a chance to
catch up on
really,
or talk about.
I mean, some things that go on that it's hard to believe that these things go on in this country. But
I know. In the world, it is hard to believe.
The world seems to be
going out of its mind,
upside down right now.
So, and I'll give you a website too if you're looking for a horse to retire, maybe give it a change of career. There are plenty available, and I'll give you more information about that next time.
Juan Carlos Guerrero is 8, 2 wins, 2 seconds, and a third at Belmont Park Spring Meet. He won Sunday's 5th race at Belmont Red Coat, paid $7.
So he's throwing out a par racing, or other tracks recognizing it, or is New York saying we don't care about Philadelphia? I mean, that's the question.
Well, we're going to find that out. Again, we're up at the top of the hour. That means it's 7 o'clock. We thank you for listening. Have a great rest of your Tuesday evening, and we'll check you out tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.